This episode of All the Smoke is brought to you by the SoFi NBA Play-In Tournament. 6 months, 82 games, and finally, the postseason is here. First up, the SoFi NBA Play-In Tournament.
For this, the rules are simple. Win and get in. 8 teams battle to earn their playoff spot in a winner-go-home style tournament. This tournament is bound to be full of highlights, excitement, and drama. There's no better way to set the tone for the playoffs than this, so make sure you don't miss the action. Watch TNT's coverage of SoFi NBA Play-In Tournament on April 16th and 19th on TNT, True TV, and Max.
High school, you crossed big, Jay-Z, special ed. Talk about that high school experience, all them legends in one vicinity, man.
It was 2 different schools.
Yeah.
Me, special ed, and Chip Fool from Fushnikins, we was in a school called Tilden High School in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. Me, Biggie, and Jay-Z went to George Westinghouse Technical and Vocational High School. That was downtown Brooklyn. I went to Tilden after Westinghouse. So my mom's, I was getting in trouble when I was 11 and 12 in Brooklyn. So she decided to take me to Long Island. When I got to Long Island, that's when I met leaders of the new school. By the time I turned 15, my mother wanted to move to Florida. I ain't want to go. So my moms and my pops had a divorce. My pops stayed in Brooklyn. I moved back to my father's crib. When I moved back to my father's crib, where my father lived was in the school district where Tilden was. But because my father is a licensed electrical contractor, he wanted me to go to a trade school. So he ended up finagling it so I could go to George Westinghouse Technical and Vocational High School because it was a trade school and he wanted me to learn his trade. He wasn't supportive of the rap shit at the time because, you know, his old Jamaican father, he's on some fuck that rap shit. Ain't no future in that. You're gonna learn this trade. And I'm the oldest of the 2 kids that he had, me and my younger brother, but he was in his head, you know, I guess feeling like he's doing the thing that worked for him. It provided stability for him to provide for the family, and he know this. So if I learn it, whether I like it or not, at least I got some shit to fall back on if whatever else I'm trying to do don't work. I ain't appreciate that shit till later on. You feel me? So that led to a lot of conflict with me and my pops. While I'm in school at Westinghouse, Big wasn't rhyming in school, but he was rhyming. Dangerous motherfucker. He just wasn't doing it in school for niggas to know what was going on. Biggie was bubbling a little weed in school. Hove, we knew he was rhyming because he was already putting joints out with the originators. And everybody was getting to their little hustle money. Remember, it's the 80s, so it's Reaganomics era, so we was all getting to that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, again, one day me and Hove, I don't know how it got put together, but somebody mentioned battle on some speed rap shit. I'm gassed, thinking that I could fuck with it a little bit because I'm seeing this Papa San and this Lieutenant Stitchy shit, and I'm already practicing this shit a little bit in the crib, but I wasn't really ready to display it. But again, I still wasn't, I wasn't concerned with none of that. I was with just whatever smokers. So me and Ho, we do our battle thing, and I took the L that day. That moment is what turned me into the motherfucker that nobody don't want it with now. Hope don't want to give me no rematch.
Not on that.
Nah, but Hove was always he was always a fly motherfucker in school. Like he from the jewelry game to the clothes, he was always fly and he was always smart. Passed his classes. He wasn't fucking around. And, you know, he got to the bread even though he was on his job with his school shit.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie, same shit. Everybody was on their shit. I ended up dropping out of school because my opportunity came. I was 17 and my mom's came back from Florida because she heard what I was doing in the street, and she didn't want it to be a guilt that she felt she was living with if something happened to me because she bounced and let me stay. You know that mother's maternal instinct shit, you know what I'm saying? So she ended up coming back, and I moved back to Long Island. But before I moved back to Long Island, I went to Tilden, and I got with Special Ed and Chip Fu. Special Ed was the first one to put the records out, though. And Special Ed was that, that fly motherfucking...
I got it made.
That Matt Barnes looking at
straight
you.
up. Straight up. Oh, Matt Barnes looking at it.
Hey, I knew this
got that
motherfucker's
good
gonna be
hair,
the one to bring it up,
that
too.
red skin.
Matthew Ed.
And he had the chicks was on him. And he got busy with his pen. And he had the most legendary producer at the time, which was Hitman Howie T. Like, you couldn't fuck with Howie T. Howie T was doing everything. UTFO shit, Chub Rock shit, Real Roxanne shit. It was just everything that was scorching was Howie T. And Special Ed, he was the youngest in charge at the time. And it was just incredible to be around all of it because these motherfuckers that was getting it, Hove and Special Ed, Hove wasn't doing solo shit yet. You know, he was rocking with Jazzo and with the originators. But when Special Ed came with his solo shit, it really made this belief and this dream that much more tangible to me. Because I wanted that shit so fucking bad. I was a little nigga. I was staying at this babysitter when my mom used to work nights. Her name was Aunt Mitzi. She had a son named Alfonso. This nigga was one of the illest graffiti artists ever. So in the night, he would go and bomb the subway, but I would watch him prepare in the crib before he would leave. So motherfucker would get these like shoe polish. Remember the roll-ons, the shoe polishes that you would shake and it had the brush on it?
And you wipe it on, you
wipe it on your church sneak shoes and shit before you go to church? This motherfucker, and remember when you used to ride on the subways and used to see the tags on the subways with the thick magic markers and the shit would drip and dry with the drip? So he created those from shoe polish bottles where he would take a chalkboard eraser, and you know in a chalkboard eraser, it got like 5 strips of the felt for you to erase the chalk. He would rip a strip of that shit off and bend it. Nigga squeeze that shit, take the brush off the shoe polish, he squeeze it in the motherfucking shoe polish, put the top back on, shake it, use the shoe polish as the ink, and then he had that's how he made the fat tip magic marker. Now I'm watching this motherfucker do that. This is hip hop in front of me. So I'm watching them doing this shit, and back then they had this radio station called WHBI. And on WHBI, it was Africa Islam from the Zulu Nation. Red Alert was spin on there. The Supreme Team, who made Buffalo Gals, was on that shit. And this shit would come on from like 2 to 5 in the morning. So a lot of motherfuckers ain't know that station was coming on at that time. So I'm so hyped to see what Fonzo would come back with story-wise and picture-wise, because they used to take pictures of the shit that they was doing. I would stay up, and I would make my pause tapes. Sometimes they would play their battles with the Cold Crush Brothers against the Furious Five, or the Cold Crush against the Foursome C's, the Kumo D battle against Busy B. And these battles was being played live from the actual battle themselves, so you would hear the crowd in the background and the whole shit. You know, I was too young to be in the street hustling shit, because at the time, you know, I'm like fucking 9, 10 years old. I'm with the babysitter, whatever. But still, I want to come to school with the Pumas and the Adidas on, my nigga. I'm lying when I make the pause tape. And when I played this shit in school for motherfuckers would be like, yo, how you get that? I used to be like, nigga, I was there.
I was there.
I was there, nigga. My cousin stuck me in there, son. You want a copy? $5. And I would sell this and then hustle these tapes that I was making from this underground station until I had enough Puma and Adidas money. And that's how I come to school on my fresh shit. That was the start of my hustler mentality. But, you know, going to school with Big and Hove, and going to school with Chip Fu and Special Ed, that shit was really dope for me, because I was able to witness firsthand that under 18 motherfuckers was getting to that bag.
Really doing it.
And driving their own fly shit to school and juried up in school, and niggas' moms had to sign their deals, bro, because they wasn't 18. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was for me. It was just being fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time and around the right motherfuckers.
Sound like a magical time.
Word.